Firstly, thank you for joining us today. My name is Vaidehi Limay. I'm a part of CTS Tech's marketing team. Welcome to CTS Tech Saturday by CTS Tech. This is a series of webinars conducted by CTS Tech technology gurus on next-gen technologies. Today's webinar is about making careers in cloud and DevOps trends in healthcare, and it's going to be hosted by Harshal Savan. He's our cloud and DevOps practice lead. So without further ado, let me hand it over to him and let's hear what Harshal has to say about this interesting topic. Over to you, Harshal.
Thank you, Vaidehi. Good evening, folks. As Vaidehi mentioned, I'm Harshal, and I lead the cloud, DevOps, and mobile proficiencies at CTS Tech. Overall, I come with 15 years of IT experience, but I've been working in CTS Tech for last 12 years now. And for the last 5 years, I've been solely associated with cloud, DevOps, and digital transformation oriented projects at CTS Tech. And today, what I'll be doing is I'll be sharing some of my insights, which we are getting from the industry, as well as what are the key things which we'll be doing as a developer, just to make sure that we progress well in our careers. Okay. So with that, I'll quickly talk about few of the agenda, like how exactly I plan to talk about and what are the key areas which we'll be covering in this session today. So first and foremost, what I'll do is I'll give you a brief introduction about the offerings, as in what exactly CTS Tech does with respect to cloud DevOps. At the same time, if you are a cloud or a DevOps engineer or a software professional, and if you what is that the healthcare domain is available and what are the opportunities which you will get as part of the healthcare domain is something which I'll touch upon in the first section. The second topic, which is by far the most important, and that's probably the topic of this today's webinar, is what are the key trends. And the importance of these trends is if we just make sure that follow these trends and we make sure that our careers and profiles are updated accordingly, I think that is something which will get us much more ROI in the coming days as well. And finally, we'll talk about the learning paths. What are the key certifications which will give impetus to your overall profile and career as well? Okay. So with that, I'll quickly start with the first thing, which is the cloud practice introduction. Okay. So what is CTS Tech? So CTS Tech, we are a healthcare IT company, and we are a niche player in IT, wherein we 100% of our revenues come from healthcare. And with we are a mid-sized company with 5,000 odd employees across globally, and working with more than 100 odd logos within healthcare, spread across life sciences, pharma, as well as payers, providers, etc. We are the CTS Tech has been a great place to work 10 years in a row now. And we've been working across with different healthcare providers within cloud and DevOps space. So if you look at this slide, on the left hand side, you will see the different engagement models which we are doing with different clients of ours. Although for today's topic, I might not go through all of them or I'll not talk about them. But the intent here was to showcase what all things CTS Tech has to offer with respect to the cloud and DevOps as well. From a technology landscape point of view, we are a partner for all the key leading healthcare vendors. We are an AWS partner. We do have certain competencies like the healthcare competency. We are one of the 31 odd companies globally to be certified on healthcare competency. We are a gold partner at Azure as well as GCP as well. So with that introduction, right, I'll get into the main topic, where is what is that healthcare domain has for each one of us as a cloud and a DevOps engineer. Okay. Now, cloud has always been an enabler. Okay. Now, but how exactly and what are the scenarios? What are the different business use cases which it's been enabling is something which is relevant, because that not only tells us about the opportunities which are lying ahead of us, but it also tells us what is the quality of work, what is the whether it's a leading edge, whether it's something which is maybe not that exciting. So that's something which I wanted to share with you. And maybe what I'll do is I'll quickly talk about few of the key areas where we are seeing a lot of traction within the healthcare space as well. So first one is the data science. Now, you post pandemic, right? All of us might have heard about the third wave, the second wave, the when is it going to hit? Now there were a lot of predictions and outputs which are given, and a lot of them were driving on the data science or the AI machine learning models which are coming up. Now, although a lot of this work is done by the data scientist, but a majority of or the bulk of the section that also falls within the cloud and the DevOps space. Because when it comes to say AI model operationalization, or whether it's the microservices consumption, that's where the cloud and DevOps engineer play a vital role. And the reason why I'm talking about that today is because there's a lot of scarcity of people who come with the cloud and DevOps skills and who have some understanding on how exactly you operationalize a data science model or how you do a data ops side of it. So that is something which will get you a lot of returns if with this incremental effort. Furthermore, a lot of cloud vendors, be it AWS, Azure, are investing a lot. So we see a lot of AWS services like the SageMaker, or be it AI ML at the Azure end, or maybe say the Vertex AI at GCP. So there's a lot of traction going on even in the vendors, cloud vendor space. The second topic which I'll talk about is the IoMT. Now, you might have heard about IoT in general, but when it comes to the healthcare space, it is more on the IoMT side, where a lot of life sciences and the medical device companies are now making sure that their devices are smart enough, they are internet facing, they are uh, passing on all of their data to the cloud as well. And this is where you would have heard a lot of traction getting services on the edge services side of it, where Azure is talking a lot about Azure edge services along with 5G, or maybe the Azure Hub or the IoT Core. So these are all services which have always been a place, but something which will see a lot more traction in the coming days as well. Microservices, probably I'll not cover a lot because all of us here might be aware of what microservices is. But one thing for sure is, right, skills like Docker, Kubernetes, uh, your distributed tracing, these kind of concepts which are with the microservices heavy, something which will help you in the broader. Next few topics which I wanted is the telehealth and chatbots. Now, post pandemic, again, remote monitoring diagnosis has always got a lot of push, and that's exactly the same in the other markets as well. Um, Now, on the telehealth and chatbots, we see a lot of hospitals talking about patient engagement, remote monitoring, and even the uh, cloud services, be it Azure Health Bot Framework, as well as Sumeri and AWS Sumeri. So a lot of these services are implementing, which is helping get a lot of experience, patient experience, or mixed reality, reality with respect to the telehealth and chatbots. Interoperability is another space where a lot of different actors within healthcare, be it providers or payers, these kind of data exchange which is happening between them. And unlike like all the different domains or verticals, even healthcare has its own standards. But what is very important here for a developer point of view is the architecture which is required. So if you have heard about event-driven architecture, if you heard about Kafka, Airflow, Argo Flow, those kind of tools and solutions, they are getting a lot of traction, especially in this space. And finally, the analytics. Now, analytics, obviously, with so much data at your pursuit, it's of no use unless and until you make real-time good analysis out of it. And data engineer again assumes a lot of important role, and it's a lot of what I would say good opportunities for them, because if you see in the cloud space, there are a lot of services, be it Redshift, Azure Synapse, big data. In fact, a lot of AWS has very recently come up with a healthcare data lake as well. So net the push or the meaning which I wanted to put in here, folks, is healthcare is growing. It's a recession proof, as always been said. But at the same time, right, along with the work, the quality of work is something which is very important. The fact that the different cloud vendors are investing and coming up with healthcare specific services tells a lot about it. It makes tells that this field is something which is exponentially predicted to grow in the next 4 to 5 years. With that as an introduction, I'll get into the major topic of today, and how exactly and what are the key trends from or with respect to cloud and DevOps.
Harshal, sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, wait.
There are times when we are losing you a bit, so you probably may want to, pay a little more attention. Your voice keeps lowering, like reducing and going back to normal.
Okay, just let me know. Maybe I'll turn off my
This is
mic. Just
better
give me a
now.
minute. Okay. So on the cloud DevOps trends, what we have done is we shortlisted few of the key trends which we see getting a lot of traction the next 1 or 2 years. And so the first and foremost is the Kubernetes and cloud native development. Now, Kubernetes is by far a de facto standard with respect to the container orchestration. There was a time where there were a lot of competitors. There was Docker Swarm and a lot of others as well. But by far, Kubernetes is now a de facto standard. What we are seeing is the ecosystem across Kubernetes is growing rapidly. So if you talk about the CI/CD tools or tooling or the vulnerability testing or the plugins with respect to Kubernetes, that is something which is exponentially growing right now. And if I am a developer or a software who is in cloud and DevOps, Kubernetes is by far the mandatory skill which I should be having in my resume. Fine. And one of the key area which I would suggest is the CNCF. Just make sure that you are part or you're tracking the tools which are getting incubated or which are getting graduated as part of CNCF. CNCF is an acronym for Cloud Foundation. And this is basically a vendor neutral forum or a community which basically tracks all the tooling with respect to the Kubernetes and cloud native, or which is in other words cloud agnostic development, I would say. The next big approach trend which I would say is the multi-cloud and the hybrid cloud implementation. Now, what we are seeing right now is a lot of clients and a lot of enterprises across the vertical, right? Irrespective of whether it's healthcare or non-healthcare, they are moving to a multi-cloud space, and where they don't want a vendor lock-in, where they don't want a lock-ins only with say the AWS or the Azures of the world. And because of which, although there are a lot of advantages, there are certain governance as well as management related issues which are foresighted. And with that, right, what was very important is the hybrid side of the nature as well, wherein companies are now planning to have their Docker and Kubernetes, which are workloads which are on premise, as well as there might be distributed nature of it. And they want a single pane of glass, wherein the governance policies which are there on the AWS world is also applied on something on the hybrid world. And this is a very exciting space. You would see a lot of this happening in the next 1 to 2 years old. A lot of yeah, vendors are already publishing their own sources, like when the AGCP has its own Anthos, Azure AKS, Amazon is coming up with that EKS anywhere. So there's a lot of action which is happening in the multi-cloud and the hybrid cloud implementations as well. Finally, the cloud cost management. Now, this is a very interesting space because what has happened is by far a lot of companies have embraced cloud a big way. They are having a lot of their applications deployed on cloud, and they are supporting a lot of mission critical workloads on cloud. And now what is happening is they have in a way migrated from a capex, which is a capital intensive, to an operating opex model. And with that, right, obviously the end companies might have done some TCO analysis. They might have computed what it would be the running cost. But over the years, right, with the architectural changes, with the user volume changes, with the changes in the set of nature of services or the pricing tiers, which is at cloud, there is obviously a mismatch between what was expected and what the people are paying right now in the cloud. And that's where the cloud cost management is something which is going to gain a lot. And if I am a developer, right, or an architect, you need very make your uh, profile into the cloud cost management, because in this you not only need to have a very in-depth understanding of all the cloud services, but also from a pricing point of view, which service from a pricing perspective, and what is the benchmarks, what is the optimizations which you should be doing. Obviously, there are a lot of tools available. In fact, the cloud also provides you a lot of granular pricing mechanism. What is very important is how do you take the what cost are you tracking, and how do you make sure that your client gets you the optimized cost, as well as what are the measures which you will be putting in place for the client to make sure that the cost benefits are accurate. Moving on to the next set of cloud DevOps trends. One is the self-service platform. Now, a cloud and DevOps has been used across the different companies. We already spoke about it. But what is also happening is a lot of organizations are facing issues pushing the best practices across the different distributed teams, because by the very nature of the cloud, anyone can create any infrastructure. Workloads can be deployed at any instance as well. And because of which a self-service need for self-service platform is increasing across different organizations. And when I say self-service, right, what it essentially means, a set of templates, a set of blueprints, which the organizations wants the team to adopt to. And if I'm a developer, right, especially a DevOps engineer, understanding of IAC, infrastructure as code, along with the lending side of it, the code quality side of it, the vulnerability security side of it, all of those are very important. And that is something which can help an organization build a self-service platform as well. Moving on to the next topic is the security and governance. Now, obviously, security on cloud is always a difficult aspect, because now you're moving from a secured perimeter network to a public facing network. And now, there are a lot of rules and sets which you can put in. But now the challenges become or expand multifold, especially in a multi-cloud environment. And what we are seeing is a lot of organizations are now moving to automated security or governance policies. They are putting in those checks where these policies can be run at runtime. At the same time, there are different tools like custodian, which has been shown here, which basically can write rules which are agnostic, which can run across the different cloud platforms as well. DevSecOps again is another bigger thing which is basically having your security measures as part of your CI/CD cycle. And finally, if you're a DevOps developer who is planning to implement DevOps in a particular organization, there is a lot of automation which is happening across. The value stream management is a very exciting space wherein the data points which are spread across your SDLC. For instance, there is code which is in Git, there is your CI/CD which is in Jenkins, your bugs which is in Jira, these correlations, and the data points across all of these can be plugged in together. And now what will happen in the next few months, or probably 6 to 7 months, is you organizations can start getting information on very specific problem areas, like what was the time it took for the build to be fixed, what was the key reason, is that a repetitive thing which is happening, is there a particular problem with my branching strategy? These kind of questions which were very difficult for us to answer in the past, in coming days you will see a lot of automation and a lot of tooling happening. With that, I'll move to the next section, which is the learning path and the key certifications. What is very important, folks, is there is a lot of things even within the cloud and the DevOps space which is happening. We just saw a few minutes back, whether it's FinOps, whether it's security, whether it's the multi-cloud side of it. Now, obviously, project experience, there's no alternate to that. But what we have seen is with cloud, there is obviously a great way of democratizing education, irrespective of your project, irrespective of your skills, right? Cloud does allow you to get your hands on and all. And within CTS Tech, the culturally, right, we do have a specific set of tooling as well. So the shown here are certain screenshots which I picked up from a learning management system. Basically, via these skills, right, you can just an employee can just enroll for a particular program. There are certain labs, guided learning paths, and assessment, and these assignments as well as assessments are created based on the trends which we see in the market. So we make sure that these labs are updated. These guided learning parts are available to each and everyone. We usually don't restrict anyone, irrespective of what background or what skill set he comes up with. Similarly, few of the courses which are there from a DevOps point of view, whether it's Git, Maven, Jenkins, etc. And finally, getting into the certification space, right? Certification by far is more of an accreditation of how exactly you are placed with respect to a peer. And what I've done is I put in few of other certifications with respect to the priority or with respect to the demand we see in the market now. Said that, right, there are all sorts of certifications which are available. There are Kubernetes related certifications, there's cloud certifications, there is specialization certifications within cloud as well. But but if you are a CKAD or a CKA certified, right, that obviously gives a lot of boost to your career profile. Both of these certifications are pretty tricky. You will take at least 5 to 6, irrespective of whatever skills which you are coming. If you are complete novice to it, it will take some time for you because there is some hands-on as well as scenario based. But these are a couple of certifications which would getting a lot of traction in the market. Similarly, for each of the cloud, whether it's AWS, Azure, or GCP, right, irrespective of what cloud platform you do, the certifications are there which are very specialized in security. There are data engineering specific specialization and networking as well. So whatever field you come up with, if you can get into those kind of certification, that also will be a big win for you, and it will definitely give you an edge over your peers. And finally, if you are a developer or a DevOps engineer, then the professional level certifications are there across the different platforms, which is different from the specialized one, but I mean, with no doubt, right, they also add a lot of weight to your overall profile. So with that, folks, right, what we have covered is we did talk about the healthcare platform. We did talk about the opportunities which it gives us. We spoke about a few trends and the certifications. With that, right, Vaidehi, I have covered the major section.
Sure, great. Thank you, Arshil. I think that was quite insightful. For all the other people who have their questions more or less on the lines of how can you, start your DevOps career, or if you would like to know a little more about how will CTS Tech help you start a career in DevOps, as Arshil was mentioning, uh, there is something called as an impact program. Primarily, it's a program wherein we give an opportunity for somebody to upskill in this field. So make sure either you reach out to us or visit us at www.citystech.com. You can get a lot of information from our career page. You can also reach out to Harshal or us, that is me, at awesome@citystech.com. We monitor that mailbox very thoroughly. So any personal queries or questions that you may like to pose to Harshal, we'll make sure that we pass it on to him and he gives his guidance and queries and replies back on that. Thank you all for your time. Hope you guys will want to visit this video back on our YouTube channel. We are available by the name of India CTS Tech India on YouTube. So make sure that you go and visit the video. Thank you, Harshal, for your time again.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. It's been a pleasure talking to you all. Thanks a lot.